Harrowing's The Passing Show with your host, Hal Gill. Freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from want, and freedom from fear. The four freedoms. FDR Memorial. Walking around by the waterfalls, looking at the quotations that are carved in the stone here as his legacy. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Let us move forward with strong and active faith. Faith in our institutions. They can't be misused without the will of the people being expressed in the waterfall here. And what you'll find on the other side here, a bunch of National Guardsmen on patrol to make sure no untoward activities happen here on our hallowed memorial to Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his wife, Eleanor, who stands here next to the UN Charter. The structure of world peace cannot be the work of one man or one party or one nation. It must be a peace which rests on the cooperative effort of the world, of the whole world, without exception. And there are a lot of people living under tyranny these days. That's true. Unless the peace that follows recognizes that the whole world is one neighborhood and does justice to the whole human race, the germs of another world war will remain as a constant threat to mankind. We are reminded here of one of Franklin Roosevelt's comments. There's his beer being followed by many, mourned him, all races, all creeds. Unless the peace that follows recognizes that the whole world is one neighborhood and does justice to the whole human race, the germs of another world war will remain a constant threat to mankind. I want us all to be reminiscent of that. I'm gonna walk around the whole place. It looks like there's some people doing some work there. They got shovels. Presumably they're using them. We have faith that future generations will know that here in the middle of the 20th century, there came a time when men of goodwill found a way to unite and produce and fight to destroy the forces of ignorance and intolerance and slavery and war. A monument to Franklin Roosevelt and his little dog. To they who seek to establish systems of government based on the regimentation of all human beings by a handful of individual rulers, call this a new order. It is not new and it is not order. And Roosevelt's little dog was not amused. I've seen war on land and sea. I've seen blood running from the wounded. I have seen the dead in the mud. I've seen cities destroyed. I've seen children starving. I've seen the agony of mothers and wives. I hate war. I have seen war, Roosevelt pointed out, and the rubble of hate, war, intolerance, bigotry, all cast as stones about here. And we're going to walk along the shoreline past the National Guard troops. They're in place to remind us of something. They've been deployed, apparently, to make sure our monuments are not desecrated. And I don't think they will be or would be. I think most of us cherish the four freedoms. I started off with. More than an end to war, we want an end to the beginnings of all wars. Says there's the line up there. Eleanor who helped to establish the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As it should be. The structure of world peace can't be the work of one man, one party, or one nation. It must be a peace which rests on the cooperative efforts of the whole world. And there's more evidence about the United Nations memorialized there. I keep walking. Sidewalk is closed. Oh, that's too bad. I guess it's too much water on it right now. So they're doing a little tidying up down below. Good to see they're using their time gainfully. Our taxpayer dollars at work. So I may be able to get down to the tidal basin there, but I think I'll just cut back. Again, watching activity on the shore, what there is of it. Some of our young people have shovels over there, apparently trying to stave off the encroachment of the waters from the higher tide. There they are. There are not a lot of National Guard troops out here, and there weren't a lot at the Jefferson Memorial, but enough that their presence was definitely detectable. Vehicles out in front for the Customs and Border Protection indicate that their forces may be augmented by agents from those Homeland Security functions. We must be the great arsenal of democracy. So it says here. I think it would be good if we were not so much of an arsenal and were more about democracy. If our representatives were actually accountable to us, that would be fine. Regular folks making their way along the way. I'm going to go over to the Martin Luther King Memorial. This part is, I believe, a bit of our post-war information. I propose to create a civilian conservation corps. This is the work she was doing ahead of the war. It's time to extend planning to a wider field. In this instance, comprehending in one great project many states directly concerned with the basin of one of our greatest rivers, the Tennessee Valley Authority. So we're going to look at that kind of works that were going on. Some braille here, things for the blind to help them understand some of the history. And on the other side, I see 1/3 of our nation ill-housed, ill-clad, ill-nourished. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It's whether we provide enough for those who have too little. I never forget that I live in a house owned by all the American people and that I have been given their trust. And he did tell us that on the radio often. Fireside chats are available on YouTube now. You should probably do well to listen to them. Walking back in history. Again, National Guard's equipment in motion as to help with conservation. Among American citizens, there should be no forgotten men and no forgotten races. And here, great monuments to FDR. Only thing we have to fear is fear itself. I pledge to you, I pledge myself to a new deal for all American people. No country, however rich, can afford the waste of its human resources. Demoralization caused by vast unemployment is our greatest extravagance. Morally, it is the greatest menace to our social order. Can attest to that. So there it is. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, President of the United States, 1933 to 1945. Sugarcoating it here. He was in a wheelchair, paralyzed, based down. Franklin's illness gave him strength and courage he had not had before. He did not think of out the fundamentals of living and learn to the greatest of all lessons, infinite patience, never ending persistence. Eleanor Roosevelt said that of Franklin. And we're going to wrap up the passing show here with the reminder that we've had from touring around our monument. Jefferson Memorial also has a National Guard contingent, making it feel unwelcome to actually walk up there. I spoke to one of them as I went by, and he did not speak back. I found that quite rude. I said something to him. He looked back over his shoulder, did a double take, but did not extend me any type of courtesy, which I find alarming for behavior of one of our finest. I appreciate their service, but they need to serve and not forget who they serve. And with that, let me just close off my commentary for the moment. If you joined us, I hope you've enjoyed it. Doesn't seem like I've had any commentary, but you know what you've seen and how it goes. Got a lot of guys standing around out there. Some of them look like they might be trying to do some work for the benefit of the Park Service, but overall, just basically being deployed, sitting around, doing not much of anything, except maybe intimidation. Well, I got end here.